This is Athletes Beyond the Mind, a sports psychology and mental training podcast. Athletes Beyond the Mind is brought to you by Close the Gate Hoops Mindset, and the Tony Hummel Foundation. We thank you for listening and hope you enjoy the episode. Hi everyone, welcome back to Athletes Beyond the Mind. This week we're talking about taking a break. The fact that we all need breaks in our lives and that you don't have to earn a break. So this episode I really want to focus on the mindset surrounding breaks, why it's important to take them, and how often you should be taking them, and what a break really entails. So thank you so much for, kind of waiting while I did some new episodes. Coach Jack took over for some, and now I'm back. So let's talk about it. And for me, it was I really need to refresh, take that break, be able to really refocus my life into providing you better materials, better topics, better podcasts and things like that, because I wasn't taking breaks, and then it was leading to kind of rushed material and things like that, and that's not fair to you, and it wasn't fair to me. So let's talk all about breaks today. The mindset around breaks in our society today is they need to be quick, or you have to earn them. You have to do this, finish this, be successful in this skill, finish all your homework, go to all the classes, never miss a day of work, whatever it is. We all deserve breaks. You never have to earn a break. The fact is, our bodies and our minds need breaks in order to compete, to live, to survive, just to do everything at the best of our abilities. We need those breaks. Sometimes people are like, well, if I just keep pushing myself, I'll learn this skill. If I just keep pushing myself, it'll be fine. I just need to push through the tiredness or push through the pain. And it's one thing to, push through a little bit and to be like, okay, you know what, I only need 10 more minutes to finish this project. Let me do it and then I'll take a break. But it's another when you continually to push off these breaks, pushing off taking care of yourself, and then that often leads to you feeling burnout, which I know we talked about burnout a little bit before, but it leads you to being burnout, it leads you to not be able to do the skills. It makes it more likely that you're going to injure yourself because your body and mind are not at the right abilities, not functioning at the highest capacity. And it also can lead to some other emotional dysregulation where, you're quicker to irritability, you're quicker to cry, quicker to sadness, and it's not wrong to feel those things, but maybe you're feeling them inappropriately or like not the right moment, or things that usually don't irritate you are sending you through the wall. So that's the first reason why you should just take a break, is because you don't want to hit that point where your body and your mind forces you to take a break. That's often when people, they're like, yeah, I always get sick around the same time of the year. Odds are you didn't take a break throughout, and eventually your body hits this point and your mind hits this point where it's like, we need a break. And so your body breaks down within itself. That's when you get those sicknesses and things like that. And if you're noticing it the same time every year, make sure you're taking a break before then. So hopefully when you take those breaks, you don't get that same sickness. And just more about burnout, because I know we did an episode talking about the signs of burnout. So please go back to that. But in this case, the breaks not just postpone burnout, it can counteract it and make sure it doesn't happen in the first place. And I guess what I'm saying is just, it's important to take these breaks and to change your mindset around that you have to earn it. It's our right as humans to need breaks and to take them and to enjoy them. And a break could be different things for different people. Sometimes you just need 5 minutes of silence or doing nothing. Other times, it's those self-care activities, which we'll talk about a little bit in a couple weeks episode. So sometimes it's taking that break, sometimes it's self-care, sometimes it's being around people you care about that refresh you. But the big thing is to take these breaks, because otherwise, like I said, you're going to get burnout, and more importantly, you're going to kind of destroy some of those relationships. Or if you made a lot of progress towards this new skill, let's just say in basketball, let's say there's a new move you're trying to master. If you're getting burnout, you're not going to be able to master it. Your brain literally cannot make the neural pathways that gives you that skill, that allows you to master that skill. Or if you're like getting really close and then you hit burnout, you're basically going to be starting back from the beginning. So all that time you put into it anyways is gone and you have to start over because you didn't take those breaks. Um, so like I said, personally, like I've been, kind of going easy this month because I was pushing myself a lot, trying to do everything 100% of the time. And you, I want to put in the best effort in in my job and all of that. And instead of taking a break and being like, okay, you know what, let's take some time off, recoup, redo this. Instead, I just kept pushing myself through and I didn't get sick or anything, but I just felt really run down. And that led to not as great material for you all. And like I said at the beginning, that's not fair. So what I did instead is, I was like, let me cut back on some things. Let me, really focus on myself, focus on what I need. And then I can come back and do better work. And that's where I'm at now. I'm ready and I feel mentally and physically able to give you this better work, this better things. And that's what you need to remind yourself. And again, I know the mindset is to keep pushing through, but the mindset in our society needs to change about breaks because breaks aren't a negative thing. They're not a bad thing and they're not a weakness. Knowing when to take a break is actually a good thing. It shows that you can recognize in your body the signs of like, yeah, I'm not doing that great. Let's take a break. Let me move forward. Um, so what are some signs to recognize in yourself that you need a break? One, are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not getting enough water, enough nutrition? Just starting with those basic things. If those needs aren't getting met, take a break and get those needs met. Don't just push through your lunchtime because you want to finish this one assignment or you didn't read for a class. I'm not saying class isn't important because it definitely is, but eating and getting that nutrition is just as, actually even more so important than maybe asking for an extension on an assignment. Also, it's important to start recognizing, what emotions change when you're tired or when you're overworked or things like that. Like, do you get more irritable? Are you snapping at people you usually don't, or for things that usually don't set you off? Are you crying more than usual? Are you doing things like that? And again, this is not, just about mental health. If you have a mental health diagnosis or concern, that's different. But I'm just talking about purely with needing a break. So again, really recognizing yourself. What's changing lately? Are you taking the time you need to take care of yourself? Are you taking the time you need to make connections with friends? Because when we think about wellness, it's not just mental health or physical health. There's so many other parts of wellness, which I'll discuss in the self-care episode in a couple weeks. But there's so many different aspects of wellness, and if those aren't all getting met, that's when you really start to break down, which is when you need the break, which sounds funny, but like you need that break to really just transform yourself, feel better about yourself. Moreover, when you do take those breaks, you have more mental capacity to focus on the things you need to focus on. So instead of, having your 20 item to-do list or whatever it is for you, but that 20 item to-do list and trying to push through it all, if you, do a couple things, take a short break, do a couple things, take a short break. What that'll allow you to do, and again, short break could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you need, but what it will allow you to do is to really focus on the things in that moment. Instead of focusing on all 20 things you have to do, let's focus on these three. Those three are done, let me take a break. Now I can put all my focus into these next three. It allows more space in your brain to focus on what you need to focus on. You literally get more mental capacity to do these things you need to do. So, how can you change your mindset around breaks, but also change the mindset kind of around the people that you spend the most time with? Because we learn from those. We learn from those people. Like I talked about in the control episode, we're influenced by those around us, but we also can influence those around us as well. It's that give and take relationship. So the important thing is to change the verbiage around a break. Like, ugh, I guess I have to take a break, or, I'm forced to take a break, or, I just have to finish these two things and then I'll deserve the break. Like I've said multiple times now, you never need to deserve a break. You never have to earn a break. You get a break because you need a break. You get a break because that's how you survive. That's how you're able to become the best, get to that next level is because you take those breaks. And I know what you're thinking, like all the big, athletes or all the big stars or whatever it is you're trying to achieve, they always talk about, they're in the gym this much or they're doing these workouts. And that's accurate. They probably, I'm thinking professional basketball players, they probably really do shoot a ton of shots a day and they're probably in the gym for most of the day. However, throughout that day, they take breaks. They make sure they're getting hydrated. They're making sure they eat. They're making sure they talk to other people, whether that's their family or friends. They're not just only doing this one thing all day. And that's because if they do, they're not going to love what they do anymore. And they're more likely to get injured because they're pushing themselves past their limits. So, really, when you talk about breaks, don't talk about like the way you have to earn it. Talk about like, you know what, I'm gonna take this break because I'm feeling a little bit run down, or I'm gonna take this break because why not? Like I want to take this break. And do that to the people around you. If you're noticing someone really talk about how they have to earn a break, remind them they don't have to, that they they get that break whenever they want and that it will help them in the long run and that they're a human being and human beings have the right to a break. And then talk about in other aspects. If you're able to, even talk about with your coaches, like you need those water breaks. I know there's some coaches that will just, it slips their mind because they're in the middle of a drill or they're going from one drill to another. But to be able to talk to them and remind them, like, hey, we need this water break. We got to be hydrated. We just need those, that 30 seconds, 1 minute to kind of recalibrate, refocus into what we need to, and just to give our bodies and mind a break just for a little bit so then we can refocus and get that water so that, our body isn't getting run down or taking, I won't go into the whole science behind it, but taking those things away from your body when you're not hydrated. And, do it with your family, do it with your friends too, your teammates. Just really change the verbiage of how you talk about a break and show by example. Like if you need a break or if you're like, you know what, I've been doing a lot today. I'm going to take a break because I want to and I can finish that other stuff on my list later. Then do it and be proud of it and show people, and hopefully other people as you're doing it will recognize the positives of it and how it's actually making a good difference, that the break isn't a negative thing, the break isn't slowing you down or stopping you from your goals, it's actually making it easier for you to reach them. Do that and hopefully more people will do the same thing, because I think sometimes we push ourselves too much or too far, and then we hit the point where instead of needing, a 10-minute break or even a 30-minute break, you're out for a week, you're out for 2 weeks, you get injured, you're out for 4 weeks, six, your body and mind forces you to take this break. And now you're out longer than if you would have just been taking 10-minute breaks throughout or 30 minutes or a night off, whatever. Eventually it will catch up to you. So yeah, I mean, it's really important to change the mindset around the breaks, making sure you're doing it and figuring out what works best for you. Me personally, when I take a break, I like to just not think for a while. My job relies on me to talk and listen to others all day, every day, and I love my job. I love it. But when I need a break, I just want to do nothing. Like I don't want to have to listen to other people. I don't want to have to talk talk a lot. Like I just want to do nothing. So for me, oftentimes I'll be reading or doing a puzzle, watching TV, something along that requires me just to be silent for a little bit and just to focus on one thing where someone's not talking to me. I don't have to pay attention to body language. I don't have to pay attention to tone. I can just, focus on what piece goes next or what's going on the TV or even, the characters. I don't have to worry too much about anything like that. But for others, that's not a break. So figure out what's going to be good for you. Like maybe a break for you is going for a walk, getting outside for a little bit. Maybe it's talking to your parents or talking to your siblings or talking to a friend. Whatever a break is for you, that's what you need to do. There's no right way to take a break as long as you are taking a break. Yeah, so the next few weeks, the topics are kind of around this realm. I'm kind of doing a theme. It's about taking care of yourself, self-care, self-confidence, things like that. And I know I already did topics along that, but I'm kind of going to be expanding. One episode is going to be, I watched this documentary on Netflix, so I'm going to be doing an episode about that and what I learned from it and what you all can learn from it, especially regarding mistakes or just, past versions of yourself that you're like, yeah, I've changed so much from then. Another episode is going to be about like self-care, self-confidence, as well as it not being considered selfish and just kind of comparing those different things. Another episode's really going to be surrounding that wellness wheel I mentioned a little bit, the different types of wellness and how those all play a role in your mindset. And then from there, I don't want to give away too many things that I'm doing, but from there, I'm really going to grow. So I'm going to try to be doing more about like the few weeks at a time. There's going to be some similarity in the topics. That way, you all get kind of learning from it. And then, so like these similar things, and then I'm going to provide some activities that go along with it just to kind of have more organization and more balance. I think it'll be better for you all to learn instead of me kind of bouncing from topic to topic and not there being this sequential thing you can follow. So the last thing I want to leave you with today is an activity to help you take a break. Um, so something I personally did when I really, really struggled with taking a break during grad school is I would have reminders on my phone. So I'm a huge to-do list person. And I would have this reminder on my phone and I would have it a couple or like 3 times throughout the day. And it would just be a reminder of like, have you taken a break today? Have you taken care of yourself today? Things like that. And it would just remind me. And so then so it was basically forcing me to take these breaks and having this physical reminder until it became a natural habit for me to take breaks throughout the day, to check in with myself throughout the day. And you can do it, on your phone or your computer, on anything really, just to set these reminders of like, okay, how am I doing today? And the other thing I did on my to-do list is I would have it categorized by like in order of the highest priority to kind of the lowest priority. So something that's due like today or tomorrow versus something that's due a week from now, a month from now, etc. And I would focus on like, what do I have to get done? What do I want to get done? And what's kind of on the list but isn't very important. And that would help me organize like the stuff that I have to get done. Once that's done, the other stuff is just bonus. So I would take a break and sometimes I'd be a short break and I'd be like, no, I'm really, really cruising. I'm really feeling it. Let me do some more things on my to-do list. Other times I'd be like, you know what? Those things don't have to be done. So why not take a longer break? I'm feeling tired or, I really want to spend more time with my friends today, so I'm just going to take this longer break. And it's okay because I understand and I have the visual of like, no, I have done what I need done, and that's okay. Like, I don't have to get more done just to earn this break. Like, I have what needs to be done. So, yeah, that's what I want to leave you with today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And like always, if you ever have any questions, topics in mind, or anything like that that you want to learn more about, feel free to email mindset, email CTG mindset, and or comment on these videos, comment on our posts, anything like that. And I will try to either answer the questions if I can't do a whole episode about it, or if it really is about a certain topic that I can do a lot about, I'll just do a whole episode on it, or check out our blog post too. Maybe I'll do something on there if it's not quite, made for a podcast. Thank you all. We are almost through the first month of 2023 already. That's wild to think about, but hopefully you've all made those intentions or resolutions, and hopefully you're making steps towards them as well as adding in breaks so that you actually can. Have a great day, everyone, and see you all next week, or listen to me next week. Thank you for listening to Athletes Beyond the Mind, and please leave a review if you like this episode. Please follow us on all social media with @CTG Mindset. You can also get in contact with CTG Mindset by emailing us at mindset@ctghoops.com or by messaging or commenting on any of our social media. Also, please take a listen to CTG Hoops podcast Off the Court or CTG Girls podcast Planting the Seed. Thank you again for listening, and we look forward to you continue listening to our next episode.